The topic is finding the formula for the inverse function. So let's do this example. Find the inverse function of f of x equal to x squared minus 8x. X is bigger or equal than 2. Again, if you notice, the domain for this function is the real domain is negative infinity to infinity, right? You can plug in any number there. So why do we restrict the domain? If you graph f of x, remember, how do you graph it? What's the vertex? Minus b over 2a, which is 2, right? So here's a 2, negative 8. So assume this is negative 8. So this is your well, if you plug 2, you get negative 8 into the function. So that's the vertex. We know that the x-intercept set it equal to 0. You'll get x equals 0 or x equals 4. So here's a 0 and here's a 4. So I mean, it doesn't matter. I just want to graph it so you can have an idea. So this is the function. So remember, this is not a one-to-one function because it doesn't pass horizontal line test. And remember, if it's not one-to-one, the inverse does not exist. So how do they do it? They want to restrict the domain. So what they did, they pick x is bigger or equal than 2. Means just x is bigger or equal than 2. All this. In other words, the graph becomes what? Graph becomes this part. Here's a 2. See, this is this function with that restriction. It is a one-to-one. See, if you do it in horizontal lines, you're going to cross it only into one point. Alright, so let's finish it. So it does have an inverse function. So what do we do? Number one, we let y equal f of x. So y, replace f of x by y. It's 2x squared minus 8x. We know x is bigger or equal than 2. Now number two, swap x and y. Wherever you see y, you plug in x. Wherever you see x, you plug y. Now remember, x bigger than 2. Since we swap x and y, now y becomes bigger or equal than 2. Now number 3, we need to solve for y. Now same, we did the previous example almost like it. So I'm going to rewrite my y squared. My y is on the left side because I'm solving for y. Alright, so what would be the next step? If you have, every time you got a y squared and y, you want to complete the square. How do we complete the square? Using either this formula or this one. But of course we have to use this one because of a negative. The only problem, a has to be equal 1. Since we don't have, a has to be equal 1. In other words, the coefficient of x squared got to be 1. So we need to factor the 2. If you factor the 2, you get y squared minus 4y is equal x. Now I know y has to be bigger or equal than 2. Now it looks like that. So all I'm missing is k over 2. This is my k. So k over 2 is 4 divided by 2 is 2, and you square it. But remember, if we add the square, we have to subtract or add square on both sides. But because of this 2, I'm going to do it safely inside. Now make sure I didn't do anything. All I did, I add 2 squared and subtract 2 squared. It's kind of like I add a 0. But why did I do that? I'm going to do it in 2 mini steps. This is the same thing as y squared minus 4y plus 2 squared minus 2 squared. And this is going to be equal x. Y is bigger or equal to 2. Right? Now, I'm going to use this formula. So I'm going to complete the square. This is going to be y minus 2 squared, right? Y minus k over 2 squared. Minus 2 squared is just 4. Now what else? Now I'm solving for y. So I need to divide by 2. No, actually, the easiest way, distribute the 2. This will be 2 times y minus 2 squared minus 2 times 4 is 8. Right? And now add 8 to both sides. divide by 2. Remember, I'm solving for y. Right? And now I have to square root both sides to get the y. Now remember, square root of y minus 2 squared is absolute value of 1 minus 2. I'm redoing this definition. And now this is why you need y has to be bigger or equal than 2. Let's see how we're going to use that. Since y is bigger or equal than 2, y is bigger or equal than 2 means y minus 2 is bigger or equal than 0, means absolute value of y minus 2 is just equal y minus 2. So this is going to be y minus 2. Otherwise we have to write minus or plus. Otherwise we have to write minus or plus here. Which means add 2 to both sides. Right? And then number 4 says replace y by f inverse. And that's it for this example. That's a good problem.